Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, pull them apart, and find those key nuggets of knowledge.
That's the goal.
Today, we're looking at some really candid reflections from Andrew A.J. Johnson. He shared his biggest life regrets in a YouTube series.
Yeah, my biggest life regrets, part 1, isolation station, part 2, social network choices, and part 3, online existence. Pretty real stuff.
Definitely. You've given us a lot to work with here. I mean, everything from deep personal isolation to the real messiness of online interaction.
It's quite a journey he lays out.
So our mission for this deep dive,
Yeah.
let's unpack these accounts. We want to find the lessons about, connection, handling the digital world, and how our choices shape things. Okay, let's get into it.
What's really striking, I think, is just the vulnerability. Sharing regrets like this, it gives us a pretty unique look into connection challenges today, especially online. It really begs the question, doesn't it? What can we learn from his personal journey to maybe navigate our own lives a bit better?
Right. So Andrew kicks off talking about missed social stuff, feeling he didn't get out as much as I'd like to. He mentions being introverted, but with extroverted bits, and also like practical things, scheduling, travel, money, different interests. The usual suspects sometimes.
It's more than just logistics, isn't it? As he unpacks it, he talks about feeling not good enough for connection.
Yeah, that's heavy. Waiting to better myself first.
Exactly. And he connects that feeling to his past, to trauma, mental health stuff, leading him to choose solitude and escapism over connection.
And safety, too, he mentions.
Crucially, yeah. He says a lot of the isolation was actually for safety reasons, a real fear of being attacked, threatened, or put down.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I thought. He brings in social media, saying he'd hear from people more when they're happier with my use of social media if it looks good and I'm showing highlights.
Right, the performance aspect.
Totally. He even talks about people canceling meetups because, get this, my emojis weren't right that day.
Wow, that's specific. And it really shows how those external perceptions, especially online ones, can just feed into that isolation.
Absolutely. He internalized this idea that some people actually wanted me to stay small.
Yeah, wanted him excluded, ostracized. He felt he deserved to be treated like a piece of gum on the side of the road. Just awful.
Such a strong image.
And that connection he makes between how he thought others saw him and his own self-worth. That's a really critical point running through all of this.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit from that internal isolation to navigating social networks, his next big regret.
Not cutting ties sooner. With negative people, negative connections.
Right. He said the experiences of attacks, threats really stuck with him, even after the people were gone.
Haunted him, basically. And he admits trying these sort of counter tactics, like posting almost gothic subject matter to get them to leave me alone.
Which, predictably.
Yeah, only made things worse. Amplified the negativity, really.
He talks about a fall off on social media, like 5 or 10 people unfollowing at once.
And he perceived that as an attack, as hate motivated.
It just shows the emotional intensity, doesn't it? How much weight these online interactions can carry.
Definitely. And it led him on this quest to figure out, why was I disliked so much?
A quest he later regretted.
Deeply. Wished he didn't know what he found out. He realized he was, in his words, doing theater for the haters too.
Calling it a losing game.
Exactly. And being shocked by how many of them there are.
So why did he keep looking? What was driving that search?
Well, he felt he needed a witness. People were apparently dismissing his experiences, making him sound crazy.
Right, because the abuse, psychological, mental, emotional, was invisible. They didn't believe him.
Which raises such a vital question, I think, for anyone online today. How do you protect yourself when that line between real engagement and, targeted hate gets so blurry?
That's tough.
He actually calls it minority stress or marginalized experience. That constant grinding toll of prejudice and the not knowing why they're doing it. That ambiguity is incredibly stressful in itself.
So what's his advice, looking back?
Pretty clear, actually. He says, you certainly don't have to do what I did. And crucially, don't have to entertain those people. Just disengage.
Okay, let's talk about the third part, his actual online existence, the posts themselves. He regrets a lot of them.
Yeah, especially the less flattering ones, where he felt misunderstood, misconstrued.
He acknowledges his delivery wasn't always great, even though he sees himself as expressive, open, and honest.
But he learned that being that open, showing raw emotion publicly, It can backfire. People might not really be listening or it just works against you.
Hmm.
He also talks about being a small creator versus corporate entities, trying to offer social commentary from a place of empathy, care for people over profit.
And it got twisted.
Often
Yeah.
misunderstood as punching down, which just shows how easily things get distorted in that online echo chamber. Good intentions don't always translate.
So what's the big takeaway here for him after all this?
It's a powerful one, he concludes. You can't expect to find solutions to online problems online. Simple as that.
Interesting. So what's the alternative?
Get out. Disconnect. He says, connect back into nature, your real lived reality and experience. He realized his online life was just detrimental, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually.
Wow. Across the board.
Yeah. And he offers this warning, too. Even if you think you're being careful online, you're still probably not being careful enough.
Calls it a risky and dangerous game.
Definitely. And he really regrets that I don't care attitude sometimes. Or the, oh, what the hell, I've got nothing to lose mindset.
Why is that so bad?
He says, especially for anyone dealing with anxiety, depression, addiction, that phrase is one of the worst things you can tell yourself. It justifies poor choices.
I see.
Yeah.
He also mentions the impact on others, right? The ripple effect.
Yeah. Feeling guilty that his online persona and choices changed their lives, too, for people he loved. That's a heavy burden.
And one more thing, this idea of not sharing the ordinary.
Right. Seeking only the extraordinary for his posts.
Which led to?
More negativity, ironically. More judgment, shame, humiliation, anger, and disgust from others.
So trying to be extraordinary actually brought more criticism.
It seems so. Maybe because it felt inauthentic, or maybe it just invited more scrutiny. It feeds back into that cycle of seeking validation we talked about earlier. It's exhausting.
So putting it all together, Andrew's journey through these regrets, it really offers some profound lessons.
Absolutely. About needing authentic connection, first off.
And about how deceptive online stuff can be. And the need to, protect yourself in that space.
Self-preservation, definitely. His story shows vulnerability is a strength, sure, but you have to be discerning. Choose carefully where and with whom you share that vulnerability.
Right.
And connecting it to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
His experience really highlights that your digital self, it's not your whole self.
That's crucial.
Yeah. And just because the online environment can be, as he puts it, trash, that doesn't mean you have to lose your own self-respect.
It's about recognizing when you're being targeted.
Exactly. And knowing it's okay to let them go, don't engage. His final lesson seems to be, fill your life actively with people that actually care for you.
People who don't gaslight you.
Right. Who don't get mad at you for being happy or get mad at you for having a rough time. Real support.
So this deep dive, it really seems to show that true connection, true self-worth, it's often found away from the screen.
And choices you make about who gets access to your real, authentic self.
So here's something to think about for you listening. In this world where we're always online, always interacting digitally, how do you actively, consciously cultivate spaces and relationships that actually nourish you?
And what boundaries do you need? What walls do you need to build to protect yourself from all that noise, that negativity he describes?
Yeah, definitely something to ponder long after this deep dive.